Hey folks, it's me Chris, and I wanted to take a few seconds of your time to talk about this awesome new opportunity that we've been presented with for all of our lovely listeners. We can now offer you all a 1-month free trial from audible.com, allowing you full access to a vast library of audiobooks to choose from. As I mentioned earlier, the trial is completely free, and all you have to do is visit audibletrial.com/GHS and follow the instructions to sign up for a free membership today. We hope you guys enjoy Audible just as much as we do, and thanks for your time. But okay, I guess on that note, now that I'm done talking about Picross and fucking Club Mitomo and whatnot, we could jump into nerd news. And actually, shit, Adnan, you have the first piece of nerd news.
Indeed, I do. So, big news came from Microsoft. When was this? I think this was last week, April 6th. Yeah. So yeah, we did record early, so it's kind of like we're catching up on a few pieces of news. But this was big news from Microsoft. They announced Gears of War 4's release date. The game is looking to hit Xbox One on October 11th. It's been almost a year since Gears of War 4 debuted at Microsoft's E3 2015 press conference, and today's announcement is set to ignite a chain of upcoming revelations about what's in store for JD Phoenix and the next generation of Gears heroes. So apart from that, there was also a really cool art cover they released, which has JD, Kate, and Del Walker on the front, and it shows the weather mechanics in the game that are going to go like a massive part of the game. So that's the big story of the first off, and we're going to combine it with the next piece, which was amazing. So during Fear the Walking Dead Season 2 premiere on Sunday, Microsoft aired a new trailer for Xbox One shooter Gears of War 4. The moving trailer, set to an eerie version of Simon and Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence, which is performed by Disturbed, balances back and forth between the past and present. Basically, the trailer's called Tomorrow. It's a minute long. It shows a young JD Phoenix running at Marcus Phoenix's first appearance since the game's been announced. Arnia's in the trailer as well. You also see... Well, we'll get back into this. So, Chris, start off with release date.
Yeah.
Good news?
Oh, my God. Dude, fucking excellent news. I got so excited. I was totally in the mindset of... Especially after the big cover story that Game Informer did recently, where we found out, everything about the game, basically, like the characters and stuff like that. I was under the impression that this game was going to come out, or they were going to announce the release date during E3. And so I was pleasantly surprised that they gave the release date and that, it's October 11th, great release date, totally fits in with, the fall, big game lineup that they usually do.
Well,
yeah?
Sorry, sorry to interrupt, but one thing to take away is that it's coming earlier than expected because the Gears 4 initial reveal had Holiday 2016 on it, and then Microsoft announced last year that they moved it to the fall of 2016.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much fallen into that bracket, so it's October 11th. It's hitting a month before Halo 5 Guardians hit last year.
Yeah,
it's in that time, and it's earlier in the month than Tomb Raider hit last year as well. So it's kind of like the big game of Microsoft's.
Yeah, it's the big Xbox One game. Yeah, and it's the first out the door so far. So it's fucking it's great. No, I think it's a great release date to do. Dude, whenever a game gets a release date, I usually get so hyped. I immediately say, okay, if it's a game in like an established series, I'm gonna play the whole fucking series again. Because it's been a while. I really haven't played Gears in a very long time. And so I said, fuck it, I'm doing it. And actually, that's why we, earlier in the show we mentioned we played because Gears 1, because I started with Judgment, and we won't get into
Don't stop.
Yeah, but I played the Ram Shadow DLC. That was fucking excellent. And now I'm doing it chronologically. So I'm doing now Gears Ultimate Edition. And yeah, man, it got me super pumped. So I can't wait for it. It's a game without a doubt in my mind I'm picking up. It's probably my most anticipated Xbox One game, without a doubt.
That's not even a fucking question for me. For the gaming generation, for you, along with Metal Gear Solid 5, I've never been so more excited in my entire freaking life for a video game right now. And except for Metal Gear Solid 5, this is on par with it. Because I go history with Gears, it's a massive history for me, to be with this franchise. But going on to that, we'll move into the next piece of news because it's a very interesting one because you found this trailer out a different way because you actually you and Becca were watching Fear the Walking Dead,
Right.
the season 2 premiere, and then you realized the trailer was on. You had no idea that they were premiering a trailer.
No, no.
I had basically been following the internet religiously, like I do, and like obviously I knew that they were doing a teaser and then they're going to announce the trailer, and it was going to be on before Fear the Walking Dead starts or before whatever it was. But I watched the trailer. It's a minute long. I have said this before. It's my favorite trailer of 2016 so far. It is just so perfect. It's a minute. It gets to the point. There's no gameplay. It's just cinematic. It has meaning behind it. It's so reminiscent of Gears 1's Mad World trailer. The music, Disturbed in it as well. I mean, Disturbed in Gears of War with the song, it's just like fucking match made in heaven. I love like the little details about it, like just JD being there, kind of like Marcus planting that tree. Like even it's just the relevance. I mean, even if it's just Marcus is planting a tree, it's planting the tree kind of like a, what it's worth is what it's worth. It has, Marcus still has Dom's knife from Gears of War 3. Damn. Like I took a lot away from that trailer, even though it's like very short and very straight to the point, because it kind of shows stuff because like Marcus is in the middle of nowhere at the minute, and it kind of like says like him and Anya followed off from that like that last scene that they have like almost like departed. I feel like he's probably departed from the cog.
Oh
like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I just watched it and I was like, I've watched this trailer about 15 times. It's so fucking moving and powerful. Like I've not seen that. I'm not being so pumped up for a trailer like this. I'm like the Coalition is like on point at this point. Like Rod Ferguson is like putting this game up to the point where it could be a very strong contender for Game of the Year with Uncharted. I think that if it does live up to that expectation, Uncharted versus Gears of War 4 as Game of the Year, that's going to be a discussion itself, Chris. Like that'll be an entire show discussion of like how we've been talking about
definitely.
Talk about fanboy wars. That'll be the war to end all wars.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it's a mouthful. Like what you said is a mouthful. It really is like a lot of great stuff. I found something really interesting and really kind of like, I don't mean to kind of like preach or anything, but I thought this was really interesting. So, I back when the original Gears came out back in 2006, 10 years ago, I did not keep up with video games. I was still in that sabbatical from video games where I was kind of like too busy trying to get laid, to be quite frank. And then I got a girlfriend, and I'm like, well, I just want to spend time with my girlfriend, hang out and shit. And so I wasn't really into video games. I would play Resident Evil, I'd play Metal Gear, I kept up with that and Final Fantasy. I kept up with all those, but general video games did not keep up with them. So I was working at a GameStop. Yeah, it was called Planet X. It was like a special store in a mall that was owned by GameStop, but it was basically a GameStop. And I remember like we kept selling copies of Gears of War, and I'm like, what is this Gears of War? Why are people buying this? Like, what is so special about this? And the dude I was working for looked at me like, I had like a third head or like two heads or something. And he's like, what are you talking about, dude? It's like the biggest game of the holiday season. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, man. And then like, I don't know, that November I went and saw a movie or something, and they showed a preview for Gears of War in front of it, and it was the dun 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 dun, that epic trailer. And I was fucking mesmerized. I saw that trailer, and I'm like, the Mad World one, and I'm like, that is beautiful, man. That's Gears of War. I had to fucking buy an Xbox. And sure enough, with that job, I saved money. No, I'm sorry. No. I actually bought a PS3. I think like a relative got me an Xbox. No, really, but I was like, I gotta get one now. And I think a relative of mine who had missed several Christmases and had a guilt trip bought me a 360 and he said, oh, and you can get whatever games you want. Or I think I had to buy my games. I can't remember. But I got Gears of War and Dead Rising also. That was the second game I bought. And so I found it kind of funny that you flash forward 10 years later, I was not aware that a Gears of War 4 trailer was going to come out. Despite the fact I do keep up with gaming, I did not know for whatever reason. And it kind of popped out of nowhere. And again, dude, just like 10 years prior, I was so fucking hooked on that. Like, I was really sucked in on the trailer. And I thought it was beautiful. I loved seeing like Marcus at peace. He finally ended up with Anya. They have a child together. He's carving the tree. He's like living a peaceful life. But we're intercutting with a grown-up JD who is following the same path his father did. It's that of like fighting and combat and being in the cogs and shit. And dude, I was again blown away. And I swear to God, if I didn't have an Xbox One, I would have been like, I need to find another desperate relative to get me an Xbox One. I would have been like, I gotta do this again, because it was that same feeling I felt 10 years ago, dude. Like, exact same feeling. So that being said, I know that was a very long-winded story, but that being said, I think Gears of War 4 does have the potential for Game of the Year. I think it does have the potential to dethrone Gears 1. I think Gears 1 is the best Gears game. I think Gears of War 4 could potentially be a better Gears game than the original, and I think they're on their way to a really great thing. That being said, I'm super hyped for this game, so if it ends up sucking, if it's like a Gears of War Judgment or something, I'll be pissed. Because I'll be like,
Chris,
fuck those guys.
Do not. I am in euphoria right now. Don't even start that conversation.
No.
That'll be the biggest opinion piece that comes from me. That'll be fucking ridiculous. No. This is going to be a good Gears game. I'm banking on it. I have to bank on it. But like, yeah, I can't say. Like, the hype is unreal now. I've never been like, because I try and stay away from it. Obviously, I get sucked into it. I can't like say that I'm like the greatest person to get away from. But at this point, I am so freaking psyched because the beta starts as well. It starts. I think, is it late next week? It starts officially on Monday next week. So like, I get access to it because I'm an Ultimate Edition owner. And like, you'll be hearing about that nonstop.
So you're like, I'm just gonna jump top. I'm jumping in. But yeah, man. I mean, it's a great time to be a Gears fan. I feel like the series has been in like, suspended animation for years now, and now that they restarted Halo and that's kind of off on its own, now they're like, all right, let's do the same with Gears, and they're off to a really great start. Like it looks great. It really does. Yeah. Speaking of, well, actually not at all, but I'll move on to the next piece. So this is kind of, again, like a two-parter kind of story. Kind of, sort of, not really. But I'm going to cover the next two pieces. So they're both Metal Gear related, and they're both very interesting in different ways. So the first kind of news here. So some of you may have known about this news. I think we've reported it. But so there's a group of people that were they're called IRAM Gamer. That was the name of the developers. They were creating a remake of Metal Gear Solid that was called Shadow Moses, I think it was called. And back in March, and last month in March, Konami asked them to shut down. Like, they had reached the point where they're like, okay, enough of this shit, take this off. And people were pretty bummed out about it. It was like the second time a big, fan project was shut down. The Metal Gear remake was one of them as well. Well, anyway, the group has came out and they said that they're going to shift gears in their development, and they're actually going to make a new project that's not a video game. It's a non-profit, unofficial, project that's called the Fan Legacy Metal Gear Solid. That's the name of the project, and it is what's it called? A Metal Gear. Essentially, it's a Metal Gear VR museum. And what it is that all those areas they were remaking for the Metal Gear Solid remake, it's all accessible, and you're exploring the area in first-person view mode wearing headphones. And what it is that you're walking around, and there's like little areas set up that has like, some factoids or something related to the Metal Gear Solid series. And on top of that, the game is voiced by David Hayter, who is playing Solid Snake. He's doing the Solid Snake voice during the entire time. So he is involved with the project. Yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. It seems, I think it looks pretty cool, man. I mean, it's a cool little fun thing. It's a good way for them to try to push off. I get the feeling though, dude, that Konami is going to shut this down again though.
Yeah, I don't blame them as well, because again, like, I read this, I was like, you know what, cool project, but you're treading on the same nails. Like, I mean, no means no. Like, and within, you don't like Konami, they're within every right to do what they want because it's their IP. They own the IP. They can shut your project down. And if it's like me and Chris making an unofficial Indiana Jones movie, and Steven Spielberg and George Lucas sitting there like, what the fuck are these two doing? And like, and the studios are like, wait, what? Like, we own. That's why copyright exists. Like, that's why it exists. So stuff like this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I love the idea though. It's cool.
Yeah, the intentions are really good. Yeah.
Yeah, great. But like in your question though, yeah, it's definitely gonna shut down. Like, the funny part is though, if I was like a publisher, and just to piss someone off even more, I'd do it right at the end when they finished it. I'd be like, no, we're not. No, you can't do that. Like you finish it, I'm like, oh, yeah, like no, get rid of it. Like,
but yeah, they say they want to release the VR museum in May, by the way, and it's going to be free, of course. But yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath on this. I really think that by the end of this month, or possibly sometime in May, they're going to be like, can you stop fucking doing that, please? Like, we're sorry that you developed something and we cut it down, but please stop. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like you
the
said,
pachinko
no
machines
means no.
are the future.
Yeah, we're going to do our own legacy with pachinko machines. We don't need this shit right now. So anyway, that's kind of like the first piece of news that's Metal Gear related. The second piece, and I found this fucking hysterical. So, basically, there's news that came out that these two new commercials have came out that focus on the new Ford Focus car, and the commercials are, it's basically Metal Gear characters talking about the Ford Focus and how great it is. and it's, they got the original cast back. So the first video is Solid Snake talking to Colonel Campbell, and it's a codec call, and it's the voice actor. It's Paul. It's what's his name?
Paul Eating.
Yeah, Paul Eating, and it's David Hayter, and it's them doing the voice.
Kiefer Sutherland. The real big boss.
And it's them doing the voices, and you're like, oh my god, it's Snake and the Colonel talking, and this is awesome. But why are they trying to sell me a car? It's really bizarre. And then the second commercial is a parody of the scene in MGS1 where, again, Solid Snake meets Psycho Mantis, and it's like Psycho Mantis saying, you want the Ford Fusion, or like, I can read your mind. And again, the original voice actors, although Psycho Mantis kind of sounds really fucking weird because they didn't put the right...
Different, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't put the filter effect on him, so it's really fucking weird. But they got Doug Stone to come back and do the voice. So again, the cast is doing this, and they agreed to do it, and Konami, I guess, agreed to allow them to do this, and it's fucking them trying to sell us a car. And you know what the funny part of all this news is, Adnan? The beginning part with Colonel and Snake talking. If you remember, 2 months ago, David Hayter posted a photo of a script, and like I think the tag was like, "Colonel, am I doing this again?" or something like that. And like everyone started deciphering the shit out of that script. They're like, "Oh my god, it's MGS6!"
The
and they're bringing back,
the internet.
yeah, it's MGS6, and they're bringing back David Hayter, Solid Snake. And like I remember there was one line that said, technology 1984. Like someone read that from between the pages, and they were like, "Technology 1984? That's a Phantom Pain reference." And in the commercial, like you find out, okay, that's exactly what the script was for, because in the commercial, Snake at one point is like, "I'm gonna use a Photon device and get them," and then Colonel is like, "Snake, that technology hasn't been used since 1984," and like I remember I saw this on a Friday night, and I just fucking like smacked my head.
You just want the middle of the screen selection in the open part of the codec. You just see Marty,
Marty. You have to come back with me, dude. But this is absurd. This is fucking ridiculous. I feel like Konami is just. This is not the right time to do this.
It was bizarre, but I appreciate it for what it was. Like it was just fun, kind of like comedy for me. Even though there's a money incentive and it's driven by monetary purposes for Konami, and obviously it's cash cowing and everything, but I still appreciate it for what it was worth. It was fun. Seeing David Hayter being Matt Snake was cool as well.
That was probably the best part. Yeah,
it was mainly seeing Hayter back in Snake, but it was funny within reasonable kind of things. It was just interesting to use a game. Use Metal Gear Solid for a Ford car. I'm like, what? Like it's like we said, like it's just one of those things we try to sell this to, like, because we're going to watch it mainly. Gaming gamers in quote unquote will probably watch it more and the fans of that series will probably watch it. But then you scratch your head like, wait, what? Like, the wrong audience completely targets. If it's someone who's just a normal, the average Joe walking around, they'd probably be like, what?
You know
What's
what?
this trailer?
Just fuck it. Go the full Monty. Have like Snake. Like, are you gonna extract that snake? Like, have like Miller. Like, that's the new Ford Focus. Like, are you gonna do it?
That's
I'm gonna
enemy.
do it.
That's an enemy Ford ship.
That's an enemy Ford Fusion right there, Snake. It's got the best gas to gallons. Like just fucking go the full Monty. Konami. Why the fuck not? You might as well. Oh God. Dude, but yeah, I agree, dude. Like I did enjoy it to a degree. Like there's a part of me that was like, how the mighty have fallen. But then a part of me was like, it was pretty cool hearing Snake talk to Colonel again. Like that was really fucking cool. We haven't seen that since like MGS4, and that was like almost 10 years ago. So that was pretty cool, I have to say. But anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the next piece.
Yeah. It's you, isn't it?
No, that's you, dude.
It's me. I forgot how many pieces we've got. So, quick piece to wrap up, and it's also that time of the year again. So
Santa Claus.
No, unfortunately, good thing it's not. I'm very tough by now. But news came in, not huge, but it's very interesting though, nonetheless. Microsoft has announced when its E3 conference will take place this year. The annual press conference will kick off at 9:30 a.m. PT on Monday, June 13th.
PT confirmed.
That's the playable teaser confirmed. That
Microsoft exclusive. Like stupid. Sorry.
So.
Like derailing the news. Sorry.
So the date and time were revealed to the press in an email from Microsoft PR, and the full statement said, and I quote, "We're excited to return to E3 this year, where we'll showcase more games and experiences coming later in 2016 and beyond, starting with our briefing at 9:30 a.m. PDT on Monday, June 13." End quote. That is so PR-y. It couldn't be any more PR if it tried. So yeah, other than that, we don't know much about E3 at the minute. Yeah. We're going to have a big discussion on what's it called, on all the press conferences, everything happened. If you followed us last year, you saw how much extensive coverage we did on E3 and leading up to it, and all the predictions and everything else. So yeah, very excited. It's going to be a big year again.
Yeah, great news
on both spectrums as well.
Oh yeah, great news, dude. It actually got me really like hyped. I kind of felt the hype train a bit. I'm like, wow, it's closer. It's like 2 months away. Holy shit. So yeah, no, it's always great to hear E3. I think if I believe correctly, because I've been writing them down, I think the E3 at the moment, it goes like this. On Sunday, the day before the Microsoft conference, EA and Bethesda are doing theirs, and then Monday is Microsoft. So we still have, what is it, like Sony, Nintendo, and Ubisoft, I think. So Nintendo will probably be Tuesday, and then Sony will probably be Monday, and Ubisoft will be Monday too, so...
Is it a Nintendo Direct again?
Yeah, totally. It's going to be a Nintendo Direct Saturday. Like, my guess, Tuesday, 12 ET, 9 PT, and Sony's going to be at nighttime. Like, they're going to start at, like, 9 o'clock at night, ET, on Monday. That's my prediction. But, yeah, it's going to be cool. I mean, it's interesting EA is doing it a day before, but... yeah, it's good stuff.
Just to put the audience to sleep. But anyway.
That's too true.
So we've got 2 pieces of film news, and I'll let Chris take this away.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, first piece of news, and this is big for me, man, because I fucking live in this. I roll in it. I smell it. I smoke it. So the first Rogue One Star Wars anthology trailer was released last week on Thursday, April 7th. So it is the teaser trailer for Rogue One. It debuted on Good Morning America on April 7th, last week on Thursday. And basically, it showed like a little snippet, a basic kind of like, teaser for it. And if you guys haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. It showcases Felicity. What's her name? Felicity
Jones.
Yeah, her character, whose name is Jin. And but yeah, dude, what'd you think of it, man? The teaser trailer.
I don't know what I was really like. I was a bit disappointed to see Mads Mikkelsen, because I do love Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Quite a lot, obviously Hannibal, but but Well, it was strangely interesting, and strangely interesting in the fact that I don't really care about Star Wars, and the fact that Chris cares about it. But I was kind of intrigued by like certain kind of what they were doing. Like as I said, like I like the instrumental score of John Williams's famous famous score for Star Wars. I really like that kind of touch.
Mhm.
And there were kind of like a lot of details about like the kind of story and kind of like it is like a huge test, this film, and more because when I was watching I was thinking more of that it's a huge test in where the studio is going to go with it, because like they have the expanded universe in the novels and they'll continue in films, but this is the really first time that they expanded the universe in film, because they even showed the Death Star thing. I was like, ooh, like that's like kind of the the chills came back, like that's the classic Star Wars idea, and they're going to be building around that now. So yeah, I was definitely like kind of like, you know what, this is interesting. I won't go watch it in the cinema, no chance. Like I don't really care about that. But like nonetheless, I probably will watch it though, because I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. But I think more in the fact that this trailer and just the idea of what this film is bigger in its kind of like sheer scale, and the fact that how it's going to shape the expanded universe, and like what they're kind of like they're going to take away from it, because this is the first time they're really doing it.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Well, first, okay, I'm like tripping.
Right, I'm not going to interrupt. Take it away.
I'm tripping on a paper heart. What is it called? Okay, so my initial thoughts on the teaser. Dude, I didn't get like hype for it. I didn't see it and think like, holy shit, this is great. It didn't leave me with that same impression that the second teaser trailer for Force Awakens left me, which I think is structurally similar to this Rogue One teaser. I was kind of like, okay, you know what? The teaser did what it was supposed to do, right? It kind of like told us what the movie was about, gave us the name of the character. We finally know fucking Felicity Jones's name, because we just called her like Felicity Jones. We didn't know her name.
Felicity Jones, yeah.
Yeah, so now she's Jyn. So all right, great, we have a name. And it showed off all the basic characters, and their Forrest Whitaker looked fucking badass in that power suit. And seeing the stormtroopers again, like the classic original trilogy era stormtroopers, that was so fucking cool. And they recreated the costumes so well. Like it really looked great. So the trailer kind of like told me, look, man, the way everything looks, don't worry, they got this. And here's the basic plot point. That's all the teaser did. So I wasn't like, oh my god, this is like, it's a must see because it's Star Wars and it's the first anthology film, and it's going to be important that Disney nails this, because if this fails, people are going to be like, oh fuck that, I'm just going to see the rest of the sequel trilogy and fuck these other movies. So in a way I think it was kind of interesting they didn't really do that good of a trailer because of that. Like I really think you got to pump, this has to be just as exciting as Force Awakens, because this is what we're going to have primarily once episode 9 comes out. It's going to be just all these kind of spin-off movies for a while. But yeah, dude, that being said, you brought up some really great points. I think it did kind of like show some really great stuff. Seeing the Death Star again was fucking great. Like the completed Death Star,
Saying that,
yeah,
the Death Star looks shit compared to the fucking Starkiller base. Like I'm just saying, it does look pretty shitty now. Like there's a fucking planet that's sucking the sun out from Star Wars Fox. I'm just saying, like in the Force Awakens, it's a lot cooler. Now it's just like, yeah, it's just a floating orb.
I mean, they got to be faithful to the this is a prequel to A New Hope, so they have to,
it's just kind of how I think was like, yeah, you know what, this can blow up a planet, but I'm like, that can blow up a fucking systems of planets. I'm like, right, okay. Yeah.
But that's another thing actually. I'm very interested to see how the general, non-Star Wars fans react to this, because remember, this spin-off film is set before A New Hope. It's literally, from what I understand, this movie leads into A New Hope. So at the beginning, how Leia's like being chased by that Star Destroyer because she has the Death Star plans, we're going to supposedly see how those people got those plans and sent it to her. And then that's why she's being chased. So I think that's fucking great. Wow, what a great idea. They're going to have, like, it's a direct lead into A New Hope. But I'd be curious if the average, the like people not like you and I that know about this sort of shit, like the people that just go to the movies and they kind of know the basics, I'd be curious if they're going to get confused and be like, wait a minute, is this a sequel to Force Awakens? Like, what the fuck is this? I'd be very curious, because I've read stories on forums already that some people told their like parents about it, or told their friends who are in Star Wars fans, and they were confused. They're like, I don't get it. What is this? So I think Disney kind of has to make it a little bit more clear of where this is and what it is, because some people, you mentioned Death Star, and they may not get it. They might just be like, oh, I guess they build a third Death Star. after Starkiller Base. They degressed and decided, let's just blow up planets again for the fun of it. So yeah, but that's kind of like my whole take on it. It's, it was okay for what it was, but yeah, I'm gonna go see it. But I have to tell you, it didn't blow me away.
Never would have guessed you would have seen it, Chris.
Confirmed.
That's a new one.
But
your Star Wars fan.
But dude, you did bring up a good point earlier. I want to touch up on before we move on. Yeah, this is a very important movie and interesting because you're right. It's the first time they're expanding the universe within film. So in other words, like all the movies we've ever gotten, with the exception of that CGI Clone Wars film, have always been, like episodic films, like films part of the Star Wars saga. Rogue One is not an episode movie. It's not episode 3.5. It's its own. Wouldn't that be funny? That's the fucking
even came up the trailer. It's like Rogue One, and it's like 0.55555.
So, but like that being said, it's interesting because this is the first time on film they're kind of expanding the world. So I'm very, very curious. Like I said, this movie needs to be as successful, in my opinion, as Force Awakens to a degree, to like sell the point of, hey, you're going to get a new Star Wars film every year now. So I'm hoping that, it banks off and it does well, but we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to finish up our nerd news, we have one last piece here. Very interesting news piece. So, Marvel Studios has made a new announcement regarding Thor Ragnarok, which is the third Thor film. So apparently, what's her name? Tessa Thompson, who appeared in the film Creed, is set to join Thor Ragnarok as both a female hero in the film and Chris Hemsworth's love interest in the film. Yeah, and apparently, another reveal is that Natalie Portman will not be returning to the third Thor movie. So despite the fact that she was in the first one, she was mentioned in the Avengers, she was in the second Thor movie, she was mentioned in the Avengers 2, she's not going to be in the third Thor movie. And instead, Tessa Thompson, I don't think she's going to replace Jane, but she's going to replace kind of like what Jane is to Thor in terms of a love interest. They haven't announced who she's going to play. We don't know what hero she's playing. What is it? Some people are theorizing. The article writer here theorizes that it could be a character called Valkyrie or another character called Amora the Enchantress. I don't know anything about the Thor comics. I never really read them, so I'm unfamiliar. But very curious news, dude, that they're going to close out the Thor trilogy and Jane's not in it. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, true, but Jane was pretty shit. Just being honest with you. As honest as I can be, sorry. She is really shit. Compare her to Hayley Atwell and, Chris Evans. Is it Chris Evans?
Yeah. You mean Captain America?
Yeah, Captain. I don't know why these two are Captain America and Thingy, Carter. Like, that's probably one of the strongest angles they've done.
Yeah.
In the standalone film. Same with Iron Man and
Pepper.
What's that one called? Pepper, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good angle as well. It's a good relationship. Jane and Thor are really strange. Even in those.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, hit me.
I was gonna say, it's interesting you say that because here's a funny little side note. Rebecca, we went and saw the second Thor movie, the Dark World, I think it was called, and Rebecca told me, she goes, "Man, you know what? Like in that movie, I found Thor and Jane's romance so fucking boring." And I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Oh man, I so didn't fucking buy it. It was terrible." And I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "I mean, separately they're okay, but together, oh, it's terrible." The only scene I thought was passionate was at the end when he returned, the post-credit scene when he returns and Jane runs out and runs into his arms and kisses him. And then it's funny, I found out that actually wasn't Natalie Portman. That was Chris Hemsworth, his wife, who doubled as Natalie because they couldn't get Natalie Portman for that day. So my wife only found the fucking double and Chris Hemsworth, their romantic, she's like, no wonder I liked it. It wasn't Natalie Portman and him. So yeah, it's interesting.
There's no chemistry. There's no chemistry, so I understand why they might be doing the replacement thing.
Right.
It was kind of like with Batman Begins with Katie Holmes and Christian Bale.
Right.
It was there, and then like the thing is that even Katie Holmes going and not doing the role again, it was replaceable because it's like, you know what, it's not as strong as it could be,
Yeah.
and they kind of sold it a lot more in the sequel. Like they sold it a lot more the replacement.
Yeah. Yeah. With what was her name? I forgot. I forgot her replacement.
Shit, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But obviously this is a new character as well. But I think I can see where they're going with, because if they want to shut it off and like wherever else, I think there's something better to be made of it. Definitely.
Well, I think generally speaking, Thor Ragnarok seems like a way better Thor sequel than Dark World, because I hated Dark World. I thought it was
I wasn't a huge fan either. I thought it was alright.
It wasn't.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, like I thought it could have been way better than what it was. Ragnarok, though, I gotta say they're gonna have Hulk in it, and you know, it just seems like it's gonna be a nice wrap up. And plus, remember at the end of Dark World, Loki is masquerading as Odin, so that's gonna finally come to a hole in this new one. So that's gonna be exciting. And plus, Hulk's in it. I can't wait to see what the fuck he's gonna be doing. Yeah, no, dude, I think it's gonna be really cool. I look forward to seeing what the fuck this movie's actually going to do. Because, you know, Thor is not in Civil War, so we're going to miss him for a while. So
anything better than Age of Ultron?